So, hope at Christmas. Anyone know? Let's see who's the real Christmas fanatics in the room. How many days till Christmas? 18. Now, who was that? That was fast, you see. That's someone. Yeah, there we go. And to avoid sounding like a kind of clearly not that jolly Santa, as we kind of build toward Christmas, we have expectations, don't we? Whether, if I was to ask the kids in the room, which I won't do, parents, don't worry, what they're expecting for Christmas, I'm sure they'll tell you something that probably won't be what happens at Christmas, because it never is it? My boys say the craziest things about Christmas, like, okay, let's see whether that happens or not. But we have expectations, don't we? We have expectations about Christmas. We have expectations about this time of year. If we are, I don't know, those who perhaps are regularly going to church, we have expectations about what church might be at this time of year. If we are just those who have a passing connection with it, we have ideas and things. But we have expectations. Some of those are exciting and good and joyous, and we look forward to them. Some of them aren't. Like, I'm very aware, we're foster carers. We have foster children in our home. There's one of them in particular finds Christmas quite tricky, because to her, it's a reminder that she's not with her biological family anymore, and therefore it's difficult. Actually, there's an expectation around Christmas which isn't a joyous expectation. There's other bits that she enjoys, but sometimes that's a challenge. And therefore, for some of us in the room, there can be the hard bits of Christmas, the memory of people that we miss, or the hard moments that happened, or just the struggle to meet expectations of other people around Christmas, or children, or whatever it may be. We have expectations. We have expectations about things that are coming up and things that aren't. But interestingly, just go on to the next slide for me, Chris. 18 days away is Christmas Day, which means in 18 days' time, if we jump back in over 2,000 years ago, 18 days' time, Mary was travelling to give birth. Now, as a man in the room, I'm not going to pretend I know exactly what that feels like. I have had two of my own children, so I kind of like have the passenger view of that experience, but not the actual view. But she was expecting in 18 days. And therefore she was maybe having an expectation of just a child being born. And as we kind of had that song at the start, what did she know? I think she probably knew more than the song suggests about who she was about to give birth to, but I'm not totally convinced she knew it all. I'm not totally convinced she fully comprehended what was going to happen. And therefore her expectations were maybe excited, maybe just the joy and the idea of giving birth, but maybe also anxious about it. She was a first-time mum. She hadn't done this before, and therefore probably didn't fully know what to expect. Might have had conversations with people, but probably didn't know quite what to expect in that whole process of giving birth. She'd also been through some challenging experiences. She had been shunned by her community because she'd alleged that she'd not been with anybody yet was pregnant. And people didn't believe her, understandably. Why would they? So therefore she was shunned by her community. Therefore her expectation of life after this probably was going to be not great, not brilliant, not welcome, not celebrated as being the new mother of this baby. We're going to read in a minute just the kind of Christmas passage in Luke, and just as we're reading through that, you're just going to pull out some of the things that she might have been expecting. Some good, some bad, some strange, some weird, but all this mix of stuff that was kind of happening with her. So Chris, just go for the first one for me. So it says in Luke 2, it says, "And it came to pass in those days that a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This census first took place while Quirinius was governing Syria. So all went to be registered everywhere to his own city. Joseph also went up to Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth in Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was one of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed wife, who was with child. So it was that while they were on their way, the days were completed for her to be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling cloths and laid him in a manger, because there was no room there for them in the inn. Now there were in the same country shepherds living out in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were greatly afraid. Then the angel said to them, 'Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which will be to all people. For there is born to you this day in the city of David a Saviour, who is Christ the Lord. And there will be a sign to you. You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling cloths, lying in a manger.' And suddenly there was with an angel a multitude of heavenly hosts praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men." So it was, when the angels had gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has come to pass, which the Lord has made known to us." And they came with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. Now when they had seen him, they made widely known the saying which was told them concerning this child. And all who heard it were marvelled at these things which they were told by the shepherds. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. Then the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen as it was told them. And when 8 days were completed for the circumcision of the child, his name was called Jesus, the name given by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. Okay. I'm going to go from the divine to the ridiculous in a minute with dogs on scooters and stuff. But the fascinating thing of that is that, as we said, Mary was expecting certain things. She was expecting to give birth. She was expecting that this baby that was in her womb that she was going to give birth to was significant. She was expecting to probably not have life like it was before, A, because she was a parent now, but B, because society had rejected her and told her she was a liar and she was not good enough to be around anymore. But she probably wasn't expecting that she would give birth to this baby in a stable, surrounded by animals. That probably wasn't on her to-do list of like, this is my kind of birth plan. This is what I'm expecting to happen, to be in a manger, giving birth, or stable, giving birth to my first child and putting him in a manger. That probably wasn't an expectation of hers. She probably also wasn't expecting to be visited by shepherds, who, whilst we might like shepherds nowadays, shepherds in this time were the lowest of the low. They're the people you don't want coming to your house, let alone to the kind of labour ward to say hi to this newborn baby. You don't want these guys coming there. But they came. And we know not from the passage we just read, but the wise men, the magi from the east came as well. And these guys weren't just lovely kings that brought some nice, wonderfully wrapped gifts. These were kind of highly intelligent, but a little bit weird and a little bit odd, kind of people from a distant land that no one knew about. She probably wasn't expecting them to be there either. So in this whole mix of stuff going on, in this season that we end up calling Christmas, this Mary, this girl, this young woman who was journeying through this thing, had these expectations that were mixed with good and were bad. Some of them she thought were going to happen. Some of them she had no idea were going to happen. And that's a bit like all of us in this room, isn't it? That we probably have expectations in the next few weeks and months ahead. Some of them good, some of them perhaps aren't as good. But there will be things that happen in the next few weeks and months ahead that we're not expecting, that we don't think are going to happen, we're not aware of. It probably won't be shepherds and stables for us, but it might be other things. It might be unexpected bills. It might be a family member turning up that we didn't think would be there, and that's great. Or whatever it may be, there's going to be things that come up that we're not ready for. And then it's what do we do with them? So, before we so our judgment about what happens next or what we're expecting, obviously none of us were 100% right because stuff happens, doesn't it? And in the same way that stuff happened to Mary, those things sometimes we can be not looking forward to. We can think they're bad things, but sometimes a bad thing can turn into a good thing, or sometimes a bad thing can remain a bad thing. What I need now is 6 volunteers. Those 6 volunteers are going to come and be involved with whatever is under this thing over here. So the whole point of this is you don't know what to expect, and that's the idea. So go on, Andy, brilliant, thank you. 5 more, go on. Come on, we need 5 more volunteers. I can't believe I'm not going to get people coming up here. Thank you, there we go. We've got 4 more.
Come on, Kian.
Come on.
No.
You might, Kian, I'll make sure you like it. So I need 4 more volunteers. There we go, thank you. We need 1 more person.
It's all the women, you notice.
It is.
Yeah, come on, men.
Oh, he's coming. Brilliant. Good luck.
Go on, 1 more.
We're together.
Good on you.
Right,
Good
okay.
on you.
Yeah, then if it's horrible, you get it. It's like I'm a celebrity, this,
Right,
isn't it? You know
so-
what's going to be in the box.
Yeah.
All about expectation, okay? And sometimes expectation is not what we expect. Sometimes it is what we expect, sometimes it's not, okay? So, on the table,
It's not what's in there.
just to point out, I have 2 under 2s at home. So I have a massive supply of used nappies, just to point out. So this nappy could be used, it might not be used, but I have lots of supply of both. So we'll see. We've then got what looks like a bottle of Prime, what looks like a tin of dog food, packed Pringles, crisps, and some chewing gum. Okay, so this is what's going to happen for the 6 of you. You get to pick an item that you want. The deal is this, that whatever is in that item, you have to consume. Okay? So, yeah. Now, Kian, I said I'd make it easy for you, okay? So, you get to pick first. I don't mind what you do, okay? Right. Don't do anything with it yet. Don't do anything with it yet, okay? Right. Going to go next. Which one do you want?
I'm going to be brave. I'm going for the nappy.
I was going to go for that.
Don't do anything yet. Don't do anything yet, okay? Might just
Yes,
be
I would have done that.
Andy, which one do you want?
Good choice.
Okay. Which one
That's
do you like?
very brave of you.
She's got to. She has to now. Whatever's in that, she has to eat it. You've got to go for that one now. It might be Pringles. It might not be Pringles. Which one do you want? Okay. Which means you get these ones. Okay. Right. So let's start with first ones first. Okay. You can open them. You can see it if you can. But is it Prime? Does it look like Prime?
Has it been opened?
Has it been opened? Okay. Do you want to open it now to test it? Remember, I could be being really old with it. I could have just resealed it and put anything in there. Maybe that's why it's so hard to open. Are we good? Is it Prime? Is it what you expected? There we go. Happy. It's what it's expected. Okay, that's better. You can go and sit down, Kim, if you'd like to. With your Prime. Yeah, what's that? Yours. Right. We'll go this way next. Okay, do you want, what is, you can open if you want to.
Quavers.
Quavers. Does it look like I've tampered with it at all?
No,
Like so.
Quavers.
If you want, they are Quavers. If you want to open, you can open them. They're yours to keep. You get to enjoy them. You can go and sit down and have them, okay? That's fine. Right, next one's a bit more interesting, okay? We'll go for the chewing gum next, okay? You want to open that up, okay? Is it what you expected?
No.
No, but is it a good surprise? Better than you expected. Because what is in there? Chocolates in there. Yeah, okay, that's great. So again, you've got that. So you can take those and go sit down. Right, Pringles is up next. We're going to do the last two to these ones here because these are interesting. So
I got more than she had.
there you go. So chocolates again. Okay, it's not coming with his chocolates. There you go. That's great. Thank you very much. Right, Andy, do you want to go next? Right, I just had to tell that out this morning. It was not very nice to tell that this morning, I can tell you that. So it's not dog food, which means it is chocolate, which means it's yours to keep, okay? Just be careful with the lid because it is sharp. Last but not least, do we think I'm going to be nice the whole way through?
It feels quite damp and heavy and, you know, a bit yucky.
I have lots of them at home, loads of them at home.
Right, we'll try it.
Try it.
Try it. What do we think? Is it or isn't it? Whoa, it isn't.
Chocolates,
It's
you got chocolates, okay, that's fine.
You want the nappy back,
You
Steve?
can keep it.
No, it's
It's yours, it's fine. I'm all right.
I'll just have the chocolates. You keep the nappy.
That's quite right. So,
I'm just
the
going
point
to
is
unwrap these and check that they are
Yeah, there
actually
might be hidden in there as well, you never know, you see.
there could be something else under these.
could have opened it. The point is this, okay? I wasn't going to make some money at a nappy. That would have been quite harsh and probably never asked to come back here again. But the point being is, sometimes expectations are subverted. Sometimes expectations aren't what we expect them to be. Sometimes it's things we're not sure are going to happen, but happen. But as with Mary, her expectations, some of the things she expected to give birth, she expected something about this guy, this Jesus, this baby to be significant. She didn't expect to be in a manger. She didn't expect to have shepherds and wise men come. But because of those things happening, that meant the message that was Jesus being born didn't just reach a certain group of people, but it reached all kinds of people. It reached shepherds who were the lowest of the low, and they were involved in that message. It reached these strange, slightly odd kind of guys from the east that wouldn't normally have come and connected, but because they turned up, it meant it reached that part too. And sometimes the things that we don't expect end up being good things, even if we weren't expecting them. Sometimes the bad things that happen can look just like they're terrible, look like they're just a nappy full of whatever. But even in that, there can be hidden good in that. There can be things that are hidden within those potentially not nice expectations we have that somehow turn out to be good. And my final thought for us today is on the next slide, and it's this, that wherever you are at with your belief or expectation of God, my encouragement to you this Christmas is to expect God to weave in good. That whatever you are experiencing, whatever you are going through, whatever is happening, whether it's exciting, joyous, wonderful, amazing, or just horrible, hard, difficult, and challenging, expect God to weave in good. Whether you get a bottle of Prime and it looks like Prime and you're looking forward to drinking Prime because it is Prime, or you get a nappy and you're not quite sure what's going to be inside that nappy, expect God to weave in good. Expect God to bring good in unexpected ways. Expect Him to do it in unexpected moments, and expect it to come with unexpectedly good outcomes. Because this Christmas, wherever you are on that journey with God, He is home this Christmas. He is with you this Christmas. He is there this Christmas. And we might be aware of it, we might not be, but He's looking to weave in good right where we are, in the moments we're in. And so, last little bit from me, and I'm going to show you a little video that we did a few years ago. Expect God to come to your home this Christmas. That when you, on Christmas Day, building up to Christmas, whatever it is, that He's there to be good, but also to do good. That whatever's going on, I hope that we can have that expectation, that hope comes home this Christmas, that hope dwells in our houses, in our lives, whatever is going on this Christmas.